Good day, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is a general reading and is for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for joining me, guys. I got the first card out. Seems to be a habit where, like, I get this card out and I don't turn the camera on. But we have started off with Pallas, Athena, Think. Athena and Artemis are both running game here already this morning because Artemis came out in a charm. So the crescent moon with wings and the crown represents Artemis, and that's her, Athena's half-sister. And they're both super empowered women. They can handle men. They can beat men at their own game. I'm not like a super feminized person, but this is the theme today. So like if, you know, and I think we've all been there at one time in our life where, you know, we've tried to be dominated in some way, shape, or form. But I'm going to hold it like this. And I'm going to grab all these actually. So the charms that have come out today are highly speaking of royalty and goddesses. We also have a black clover symbolizing magic. We have a blue clover symbolizing autism. I know the blue clover does stand for autism, and that's... First thing I thought of was telepathy tapes. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but the telepathy tapes are... something you should certainly look into, even if you don't have autism or have an autistic child or children. I think it's worth looking into because they have proven that they have an ability, psychic abilities, remote abilities. They also have psychic connections with their parents. So they've done experiments where, like, they put the child in a room and the mom in a completely different room, totally unable, away from each other, and they are, whatever the mom is saying, doing, thinking, the child will somehow, like, communicate that, whether it be in writing, drawing, whatever the means is for that particular child. So we also have the black swan here, which always makes me think of Princess Diana. So we have a lot of, like, goddess energy coming on the table. First thing, right away. Also, I feel like somebody's in hot water because at first I thought this was the symbol of fire, but no, it goes like this. If it were to be a pendant hanging from a necklace, symbolizing water, with the red there, hot water. Something will be fruitful or is fruitful, and also the seashell with the pearl in it. The pearl also talking about, we have two pearls actually. Pearls are usually symbolic of intuition, the moon, and feminine energy. This is in the year of the horse. Something is coming to light, possibly things like the telepathy tapes. And then I'm seeing two birds, and even though they are birds from a different feather, in this reading they seem to be flocking together. Possibly creating some sort of abundance. And, you know, we want to bring love, maybe some, you know, when I think of lips, I think of, like, I don't know, a new relationship, kissy-feely, honeymoony, something along those lines, right? But this could symbolize somebody having children, possibly an autistic child. Now, the single dad came out a lot this week. Just throw in that. And then I found a random charm here from yesterday, which happens to be a pink bow that didn't get put back when it should be. So I feel like somebody may have an autistic daughter. That could be you or them. But yeah, it does look like, you know, both of these birds are actually birds who mate for life. But they are very different, obviously, flamingo and a swan, right? So that's what we have today. The flower also symbolizing somebody being gifted, and it is pink. So this could be somebody's autistic daughter being one of those that can communicate telepathically, that needs to be practiced with more. Or, you know, even if you didn't know that that's a possibility, you can start doing that with, start practicing that with your child, and you never know what you're going to find. Highly recommend those telepathy tapes. I do feel like they're trying to hide that information. So I'm sure you can find it. I don't know if you just saw all the lights in my house flash. That was a confirmation for me. They don't want people to know that. Dang, again. That doesn't usually happen, by the way. So with Pallas Athena, it almost looks like either a feminine had to have gone up or has to go up against some... you have to be a warrior in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if this was like in the past, where you've had to stand up against a group of men. It could be men in your family. It could be, you know, maybe the way you were raised. The men were always like, you know, very much like old school. What dad says goes, right? Which would honestly be opposite of me. I'm like I think I come from a long line of single ladies. No, at least my mom anyway. But I do know that Artemis, so Artemis is symbolized in this crescent moon here. Artemis and the Princess Diana, which is also Diana is also Princess Di. She has the black swan swimming around her gravesite. So let's see how this applies to you. Are you going up against a group of men, maybe like going against the grain as far as family goes? Because as far as I think it was Athena that gave her dad Zeus a pounding headache, and then she jumped down the throat to rescue, I believe, was it her mom? Because Zeus was hiding her mom from his wife, and so he swallowed her. So Athena, jumped down his throat to rescue her mom and literally beat Zeus, like, which is, you know, Zeus is supposed to be like God, is he not? Supposed to be. So we have chakras out. Somebody's balanced. Also could be advice as well if you're feeling a little bit off lately to just take 12 minutes. That's where I started. 12 minutes was doable. I also like to do 12 minutes before or after a salt bath. And I say before or after because I tried to do it after and I kept like wanting to fall asleep. Salt baths can do that to you, right? So let's put these birds back together up here. Yeah, something to do for certain with a female child. And I know, again, like the seahorse isn't out here, so to me, seahorses represent single dad just because, like, they have babies. The dad is the one who has babies in the seahorses rather than the female. And I had 2 seahorses out here yesterday, so it was almost like there's maybe 2 dads that are going to be coming into view. I'm not sure if you've been dating, celibate, if this is something that you're looking forward to. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time alone or not. It does say retreat and renewal. So over the winter, it's very possible that you've, been a bit isolated, in maybe purposely. And I do see her here touching a frog with a crown, so that's looking like maybe she's ready to start kissing frogs again to see if there's a prince I'm not going to take these actually right now because two came out. I'm going to try to get a single one, though I feel like my spirit guide bird is already like, I said what I said. But yeah, so it looks like maybe during the colder months, which depending on which side of the hemisphere you're on, we are just starting spring. And I wish that would hurry up for me being in a cold climate, but it is what it is. Maybe with all your likes, shares, and subscribes, you can get me out of here. I can't wait to move to somewhere warmer. What have you got for me, bird? Tell me about the Sacred Forest Oracle. I think I already did. Not bad. I don't know why I stick to one card. It's just a simplify, right? Okay, so we have Air, Spirit, and Knowledge. Funny, this reminds me of Valhalla, which came out yesterday as well. And this is card number 1. So we're looking at action-oriented, I was going to say Aries energy, but this is Air Spirit. But we are in Aries, so you could be finding a lot more communication coming in this next little bit. What has she got in her? I gotta say, I don't feel like I've gotten this card too much. I use this deck all the time. I noticed there's a little deer down here. So you could live in a heavily wooded area. Maybe you want to leave. Because she certainly is piecing out. I'm wondering if, like, did you go to school this winter? And now you're ready to wrap things up? And maybe take your knowledge abroad? We'll see. We'll see how that comes out. Because the card number 1 is excellent for starting energy, new beginnings, new fresh starts. It does look like you've been, whatever you've been doing this winter, maybe it feels like you've been studying something along the lines of what I'm doing here. Listen to the music of your soul. So again, we have 1 plus 9 is 1 energy, so 1 plus 9 is 10. That means, we're ending something here. This is the final hurrah before you get to sail off, so to speak. And listen to the music of your soul. So, we're not going to be taking a usual path, or maybe something that a man... I'm not trying to man hate. I'm not a man hater. I really want to emphasize that. It's just how it's kind of working out this, because my attention's being brought to the seashell, where it's like you've been working on something for a long time. You're like this, this clam here that's taken in that piece of sand and it has worked it and worked it and worked it and worked it, and you've grown it into this beautiful pearl. And we want to continue listening to that intuition that the moon represents within the pearl, and using your gifts to get you where you need to go. Follow and listening to the music of your soul. So like, if you want to say, start making things and selling them on Etsy, and everybody's like, well, that's not a very stable idea. Maybe it has something to do with, like, I'm just looking at, like, the having fun and being playful with this play horse there. Maybe it has something to do with inventing something that, like a new, like a fidget spinner. I don't know. Do what you want to do. Geez, maybe you're making legit charms. Maybe you're studying something spiritual. Maybe you want to go on YouTube, or whatever it is different, and it's not something that is traditional by the looks of it. And that's the kind of thing that really ticked off Zeus, right? When it comes to Athena and Artemis. They're both warrior goddesses Well, that's funny because it looks like you're pissing off parents. The goose, this is the goose and the gander. I see blackberries here, but I can't remember if that's some sort of poison berry. I actually have these in my backyard, and they definitely have spikes on them. So those are blackberries in my backyard. It has the same flower, so maybe it's not poison berries. Maybe it's just nice fruit, which is funny because these, I don't know why, do they look like angry ducks to you? They kind of also feel like they're being left behind in some way, shape, or form, but this card particularly represents parents. There's a quick goose, vigilance, parenthood, and productive power. So certainly, or your parents could be in hot water. I don't know why, but I was just brought to the attention of this little doodad here. And then we have birds here again. This little bird couple, like, maybe you have some sort of royal lineage. Maybe your parents think, like, you should or shouldn't do certain things. Like, if you're watching my channel, that could be a big no-no to your family, right? I instantly went for these cards, which is weird because a lot of times I go for the Lenormand, and I actually do want to kind of jump back to that. So, they know not what they do. I'll stop there. I also got, when cutting the deck, over-explaining themselves and Psycho, but that's in reverse, so that's good. Maybe somebody's being pushed that way, or maybe they're saying that you're crazy. Could be a thing. Not a doctor, lawyer, or therapist. I'm not out diagnosing anybody, YouTube. That's not my thing. Bird, give me one for think. What do we want to think here? Yeah. Artemis is also known for... Athena. Or olives are known, like, extend an olive branch. Maybe think before you extend an olive branch. So, like, offering help to a person, I'm getting the feeling like you may feel bad for this person, but it is what it is based on their actions. You need to stay balanced, and you need to get going. So somebody may be asking you to stay somewhere. And that is highly unrecommended. Tell me about think. So Athena actually doesn't have a mom? So it's kind of like she has, in a sense, defeated her only parent? Okay, so Athena and Artemis, or at least Athena, is a virgin goddess born from her father who's unmarried and stays unmarried, so she's a spinster like myself. And Aphrodite has no power over her. So I don't know what power Aphrodite might have been, but it's looking like you're going to have to choose a path. You could choose to, like, which way to go. I feel like somebody's going to try to get you to stay somewhere, and you should be going. And you have a choice to make with that path card. Something, if this is a hard decision for you, I think you need to sit with your guides and your guardians, and ask, what it is that you need to do. And, you're really going to have to weigh those scales of, would they do it for you? Whatever these people are asking you to do. Maybe you have aging parents that want you to stay around to take care of them, but they've literally never been there for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, what if, you guys raised yourselves? Like, you and your sister, cooked and cleaned for each other, or your parents maybe were, into bad things. Maybe they were dominating, like this bear here. This bear does signify to me challenges. So it could be a challenging person, somebody who's very dominant, somebody who wants to dominate you specifically. And it looks like they have a big hill to climb here when it comes to doing that, because you're not like the others. And they've been able to have manipulated people in their past. But that's just not what's going to happen here with you. Now, the bear can stand for a dominating figure as far as a boss go, or parents. I'm trying not to say matriarch specifically, though it can represent a bear can represent the matriarch of the family, and they represent that very well in the movie Brave. And I'm stumbling here, and I'm trying to talk about other things because this has been the energy for a week. And if you've been watching my videos, you know. So you guys obviously need messages, so I'll keep going with it. But air, spirit, knowledge, where does this knowledge want to take you? It wants to take you out of to me that looks like a crowded forest, out of the fog, into the clean, crisp air, out of it. You have an opportunity to get out of whatever you're into right now, or wherever you've been stuck, using the skills that you've honed, that pearl that you made. Yeah. So there's some sort of transformation here. Also could be an ending. Like I said, we have the number 1, which is new beginning, but you can't have a beginning without an ending. So something's ending, something's beginning. You're going to have a choice of which path to make. Sit as long as you need to sit until you make that decision. There's some magical forces here happening in the year of the Fire Horse. And Fire Horse is action-oriented, very much like Aries, which is actually... It's not the season we're in right now, but there's a lot of planets still stuck in Aries. I know we're in Taurus season, where it's a little bit more slow and steady, but... we're still, it's the Fire Horse, so I don't think we're going to lose that type of forward movement until next February, right? Listen to the music of your soul. 19, again, another 1. That could be you. This could be the Artemis Athena energy we're talking about, which is you. I'm sorry, masculine. If you could be in your feminine energy as well. We are talking in energies. So even if I do say feminine, it could be a masculine in his feminine energy. intuitive, listens to their subconscious, maybe even more feminine, literally more feminine. But not to get into sticks and stones and stuff there, but this 3 here is about communication. So I'm thinking there's going to be some sort of information coming in that's going to allow you to, because I feel like you're sitting there right now like that, I'd love to move, but I can't. Due to this, that, or the other thing. But there's information coming in that's going to allow you to have a choice. Tell me about these parents, the goose and gander. Whoop. So they don't want you to get this information. Funny, I just was talking about that. They've been holding this information back. So your parents have been holding you back. Now, if it's not your parents, it could be, people that act as your parents. So like a guardian figure, if, say, you're not... like if you grew up in the system in any way, shape, or form, if these are like guardian parents, could even be like an aunt and uncle that had some sort of control, but it really does seem like parents. Now, it could be a dad and a stepmom, it could be a mom and a stepdad, but whether they like it or not, this news is coming in. It's on the way, and it's happening fairly quickly. The horse is swift news. It's like the 8 of Wands. Why? Why? That sounded funny. Why do they not want this information coming in? What's this gonna change? What's this gonna do? What are they worried about? Why are the parents trying to hide this from you? Because then you'll have options to go right now. Like, it looks like you may be stuck. Queen of Pentacles, so I see the Q and the diamond down there, so that would be the Queen of Pentacles. So they don't want the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, to be able to leave. But if you don't like them so much, like these people have been dominating in your life. These people have been blocking, they've been standing in front of your pathway. God knows what they've actually done to do that. Which makes me want to grab these cards. I'll come back to the other ones if we have time anyway. Something's going to be known publicly as well. Yeah, I think I think at this point it might be safe to say this could be a mother figure, but these people are looking up at the challenge, which is you being balanced, which is a good time or reminder for me to say to you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your progeny, if you have any, which it looks like you might. For sure. It looks like you may have a daughter. You may have children in general, but you may have a daughter. Or daughters. It's kind of looking like you might have one or two, but see, it could be a boy too with the blue clover. But make sure that you stay balanced. And I know sometimes it's hard to do that when you have little ones, but remember, it gets easier. And it's true. You will actually miss the hard times. People are like, no, I won't. Not going to miss diapers. Not going to... Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Speaking from experience, from somebody who thought they never wanted children. And now it's all grown up. You will. Tell me about this choice or this path. Tell me about this choice or this path. brought tears came out in reverse. So maybe you're not someone who cries easily, but it's this information that's coming to you may make you upset and happy at the same time. It could be like a roller coaster of emotions. Now, if it came out this way, I could say it's, maybe you've been waiting on this a long time. Maybe you've had an idea of this, or maybe somebody in your family has kind of dropped hints about it, or like maybe somebody said something to you before they passed away, and your parents maybe didn't know that you knew about this the whole entire time. Something, whether it be a gift, a financial gift that was being handed down, or a spiritual gift that's been handed down in your family. But whatever this information that comes to you, that's going to change what you have as options. I want to know when this information's coming, actually. When will we see this information? When will we get this information? Because I know divine timing is kind of a pain in the ass. We want things to happen now. Obviously, especially if you're not where you want to be in life. And divine timing is what it is. When will we get this information? I know the rider's symbolizing soon, but... So the tree is giving me... Well, I mean, it looks summery. It could be spring. Now we have birds as well, so that also reminds me of spring. I'm gonna look it up. Don't be mad, I'm using my laptop and checking out something. I don't have the timings memorized, I just don't. 7 of Cups, some sort of, so 7 of Hearts is at the bottom of this tree card. Making me think that there's a lot of options. Could be, depends how you go, right? Anybody else using the Lenormand cards at home? So timing for the tree says 9 to 12 months. It's also representing Capricorn, so the daddy duck over here could be a Capricorn. That's very possible. Or the news could be brought to you by a Capricorn. But it also could be related to something with your family. With those... But the birds say that they're talking about it. People are talking about it. Somebody's talking about it. They could be talking about somebody who passed away and left you something as far as this inheritance goes. Maybe other people in your family know about it. You got the ship there right after, so something that may take you away from where you are. This female publicly is going to be seen as lucky. Meanwhile, I'm not sure how lucky it is. If somebody's been holding you back for a long period of time, it's really not luck, right? Or if something that you're working on has taken years to perfect, that's not luck. That's hard work. That's rightfully yours. I'm getting all revved up. I need a sip of my coffee. All right. Tell me more about this bear. 9 to 12 months. It's almost like you're giving birth to something. Though I wouldn't want to be pregnant for 12 months. 9 was enough, hey? So right as I cut the deck, I noticed Great White Buffalo fell out, the one who got away. We have Lust in reverse. So they could have been trying to send in somebody to distract you from your path. but you're not acting in your lower chakra energy. This is why I don't support LGBTQ, because they have their chakras upside down. See, look, it's the pride flag. And whether, you know, I'm not like organized religion person in any way, shape, or form. I think that's meant to trap us. But at the same time, I do believe in chakras, and I do believe that when you're guiding your life purely by your sexual orientation, there's so much more to people than just their sex. You know, it's part of you, but it isn't you. That's not what you're all about. And if it is, you need to do some work. I say what I said. So, also, this came out, I think, is important. Throw out anything and everything they gave you. It's hexed or cursed to try to block your path. And I'm going to have to refer to parents on the board right now, because that's who's here. You have a dominating parent or boss, and then you have parents again. So this is family, sadly. Tell me about this bear. I know this bear is challenged by your chakras being balanced. That's what I know. Whatever they've been doing is going to end, and you're going to be able to, like, whatever they're doing, whatever this bear is doing is going to end. If they've been standing in your way, you're going to be able to take off. Intimidate. So somebody wants to come in and intimidate you, and when you carry the divine feminine power of the goddess Athena and Artemis, you know, you could even have a daughter, and you guys are like a power team, and you ain't nothing with, right? I highly suggest stay away. Like, these ladies aren't not gonna not protect themselves. Okay, they've actually been training a real long time for this exact situation, especially when it comes to somebody who's inappropriate with minors. And that could be, you know, that doesn't have to be all the way inappropriate. We could even be playing mind games with a grandchild. Like, say, you know, a grandparent wants to take you to court for grandparent custody rights, and all they've done is kind of groom the child to want to be with them more by, you know, grandparents these days have a lot more money than parents. They were able to buy homes a lot easier. They were able to save a lot easier. They had just a whole different experience when it comes to working and saving money. And you could, back in their day, you could have the man go to work and support a whole entire family. That can't happen anymore. So if you have grandparents that are trying to groom the child to say go live with them by buying them presents and being like, see, you should always have new clothes. See, you should always have this. See, you should come live with Nan and Pop or Grandma and Grandpa. Vovo and Gam Gam. You should come live with us because your mom doesn't make enough money, and whatever it is, just so they can shape them their way. Like, maybe you're an outside of the box type of mom. Maybe you homeschooled your autistic daughter or son. Maybe you choose to do things differently and they don't like that. Maybe you don't jab your children or your pets and they don't like that. Tell me about this ending or this transformation. What is this ending? It could be, we do have the bear that could represent matriarch, and we also have a woman. Somebody could be passing away. And when they do, the information will come out, but they certainly don't want it to. They don't want you to have a choice. Shitty parents. All I gotta say. They're sick now. It's possible that they are going to pass away. You know, it came to my attention. I wasn't sure how I was going to get this in. And maybe I'm forcing it in, but it's something that it needs to be said. As people are waking up to the fact that there are people who hurt and sell children, we're also learning about dark underlying things happening within the church and families in those churches. One of the things that I woke up and I had a download. And the download is they're hypnotizing children and they're giving them, like, putting a password almost on them. So, really in turn making them sex slaves. Or even, say, if a grandparent is, say, a warlock, or you come from like a Eastern Star family, Freemason type family. Not specifically Freemason, but one of those organizations, something that is secret. I know like a lot of the churches operate in secret as well, those ones that speak in tongues and all that. They're literally putting passwords on women and children, and men, and they're basically giving them handlers. They scheme and plot, and like, you know, maybe you wake up, say you go to a party one day and you wake up and you don't remember what happened and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't even drink. Did somebody spike my drink? Well, no, you're unfortunately someone who was hypnotized as a child, and they sell the password to perverts. And then those perverts whisper the password in your ear, have their way with you, and you don't even remember. Like, you don't even know you're an MK Ultra sex kitten. But that is what I woke up to. They're putting passwords on women, children, even men, to make them do things, and then they're selling them. These organizations are literally selling people and be like, here, you can handle this person. This is their password. And next thing you know, you're with somebody that you would never be with, but they have the password, and you're like, oh, I know he's not that good looking, but I just like him so much. I don't know. He's like, you know, you see those girls that are like 23 and you're like, and they're with like a 50-year-old and they're like, oh, she must be a gold digger. No, he bought her password from her parents. Oh my God. And look what flew out. Oh yes, family. Order of the Eastern Star. Also, they come in posing as someone in need. So somebody may knock on your door and be like, hey, do you have this? And blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, password, you are never alone. I mean, I think there's always some sort of a handler out there walking around. If you're part of this family, then this is what we call the Great Awakening, and all that was done in the dark is coming to the light. I know that saying is used a lot, but it's true. This is the time. I just saw male cousin, not from here, alien. Now that could be him, or your male cousin thinks that you're not from here. There's an old-timey type evil, want to burn you at the stake, cleanse with nature. So make sure that you're going for your walk and doing your grounding, taking your salt baths, asking, hey, call out to Artemis, call out to Athena, and ask them for their power to lift you up. Tell me about these parents who's trying to block your path by blocking this information. Capricorn. The letter J. Church front. So something to do with the church. You know, they could be going around, they have a whole different story about who and what you are. They could be saying that, like, you're somehow needing to be controlled, maybe you need to be under conservatorship, like I'm thinking like Britney Spears type stuff. But a miracle has happened. immortal. You know, they tried to take you out so many times. They sure dang think you're immortal. The year of the fire horse. This is all coming to light. I have a feeling I'm going to put this Capricorn right there in hot water. Watch out for honeypots. Just with this kisses here. Somebody may be trying to love bomb you. That could be them, or it could be somebody they're sending in. So if you've ever suspected somebody that tried to befriend you, or even somebody that you were dating not occurring naturally, that is very possible. I wanted to pull out the tarot, but it looks like I gotta end this because my battery says so, but I may be back here later today. I love you guys, and we'll see you again. Peace.